Do I, 30 meters, overreact about my GFs, 30, online game chatting? I really need advice, as the situation has become emotionally unbearable for me. My GF is currently not working due to COVID, so she started playing an old MMORPG without me, which was fine to me, as other friends of us also started playing with her. However, I had to realize, this game offers a lot of opportunities to get closer, and 2 weeks ago she started playing with this new guy who is single. Since then she is online nearly 16 hours a day, always chatting with that new guy and his clique, and they even started from the beginning to level together. Apparently she also married him in game behind my back. She did it before with someone else, but she told me and she was transparent about it, so it was fine for me, and she didn't bother telling me, as I had to see how their characters were exchanging hearts. She is also always running around with barely any clothes on and keeps on dancing about everywhere, and I also saw him dancing with her. When I glimpsed over to their chat, I saw that nearly every second sentence included smileys. I reached my breaking point today, as I am currently struggling very hard with my life, school while full-time work, and I did some terrible financial decisions and being depressed of the overall situation. I love her, but I had to tell her that this breaks any trust I have in our relationship and I consider breaking up. I also explained her my situation and my concerns about our relationship, as she never had time for me anymore, but so far she didn't bother. I left the flat for an hour and she did nothing. She also changed her profile pics some days ago excluding me. So did I overreact? And what exactly do I have to do now? I am really lost right now. Edit 1. Thanks for the replies, as it seems, my instinct was right and she plans on dumping me anyways, as she has fallen in love with him. I also have seen the chat log and it was going on for a week and they are full engaged in sexting. I am done. You're not overreacting. It sounds like your GF is having a full-blown emotional affair, and her reaction to your confrontation was indifference to you, your feelings and your relationship. And that's not a relationship worth having, emo. End it for yourself because you deserve way better. If you brought it up to her and she hasn't addressed it or even explained her motivations, then you might want to have a serious talk with her about why you feel this way and find out what her side of the story is. I asked her and her side is, I see no problems. Why should I tell you that is your problem? Oh, how nice of you to show so little trust in me. None of her answers actually helped me solve my concerns. She also told me she would never give her new friends less time in order to have more time with me. No, you're not overreacting. Also, 16 hours a day? 6 hours of sleep, another hour goes for the housework, another one for taking care of herself. And she sits at the PC. She also saves time by not eating anymore, as she lost 8 kilograms since she met him, and when I said in anger she lost that weight for him, I kinda hit a nerve as she was fully angered. My ex left me for someone she met in back in 2006. She lost her job and just spent all her time playing WoW. She found a dude who was fun and happy, and I was getting upset with her behavior, so she just eventually gravitated toward him. Your GF is addicted to a simulated experience where she's getting positive reinforcement and attention from someone, and it makes her happy. She's neglecting her real-life relationship with you to feed that addiction, and any intervention you might make is just going to feel like you getting in the way of her fun. Stop supporting her. Stop enabling her. Stop depending on her for anything. She's on the way out. She's chosen to neglect her relationship with you. She's not going to change her behavior until it has a significant impact on her real life. Have some self-respect. Or being treated like shit. You don't need this. You can do much better. It's over. Thanks for the advice, but as in Edit 1, we are going separate ways now. It is funny to me that I see the situation similar like you, and I told her if we would work and spent as much time on our relationship we could improve, but she refuses as her feelings are too strong for that guy. And thanks for the supporting words. However, I doubt that I could do any better in a relationship, so I am kinda fucked. 16 hours a day? Literally the definition of eat sleep game repeat. My 27M girlfriend, 31F, texts me everything she does during a day: shower, cooking, naps, meetings, phone calls, shopping, etc., and it is wearing me down. Hello, I've heard of needy girlfriends and the likes, and my girlfriend doesn't really fit in that category. She is loving, supporting, really tries to make me happy and lets me do what I want for hobbies and friends. However, I am a very independent person. I will go out and work on projects hours, 2 to 3 hours, at a time without looking at my phone. Her, on the other hand, texts me constantly, telling me she is making her lunch, or has a work meeting from X to Y hours, or is watching a movie, taking a shower, taking a nap, writing her reports, etc. This is every day, non-stop. I feel like she expects me to react to her texts every time. But after about 1.5 years, it is starting to wear me down. It began to feel very bland, like a chore to always robotically reply and send a happy emoji or something along those lines. I really hate that I am beginning to feel this way, because she is a wonderful person, but I can't control it. It is too much for me. She also pushed me into texting her some of the things I do. Since I am reluctant to have to text her my schedule every day and I told her about this, she began noticing my living patterns instead and texts me things like enjoying your supper around supper time, looking to confirm what I am doing. This is the same for showers, exercise, homework, cooking. I am a cook at a restaurant. Am I selfish and not realizing how simple it is? Or is there some truth to my worn out feeling? Edit: to anyone who reads this in the future in a similar scenario, here is what I did. I spent a good while talking with her. I cleared up why she wanted to text often, how she had been in past relationships, etc. We came to an agreement that sending these types of messages will be without expecting a reply. That goes both ways. We reach out and talk for 15 minutes during lunch break, and save time to fully enjoy ourselves at supper time talking about our day. It was a great conversation and we were joking by the end of it and laughing. She is even excited for the new plan since we'll talk on he phone at lunch. We will try it out. She is happy and I'm happy. All is good. Good luck and enjoy yourselves. And thanks for everyone's replies. They really helped smile. Crazy how my ex for 4 years was like this, and it was one of the best things about her that I now miss a lot. This is a good reminder that we all have different needs. This sounds exhausting and would definitely be a deal breaker for me. This isn't necessarily advice, but I had a similar situation. It was with my ex-wife, and I also had a job where I couldn't always be checking my phone. She would text me things similar to your girlfriend all throughout the day, and after a few years of it I asked her to stop. Less than a year later she asked for a divorce, and this was one of the issues that she brought up. She was doing it out of love, as she thought it would make me happy to know she was thinking about me. Out of all the things I didn't do right in the relationship, this is the one I think about and regret the most. I had one like this. We talked and all she really wanted was to touch base during the day. I started calling her on my lunch break for 15 minutes and everything was fine. How much quality time do you spend together? Been guilty of over-texting in relationships too, but I find I do it more when I feel like too long has lapsed since I've seen the person and really connected more. Maybe the trick is quality over quantity. If you make more special time and maximize when you're together, maybe she'll text less throughout the day. Just communicate this with her and establish some boundaries. My partner and I text like this as well, just to keep each other in the loop throughout the day, because we aren't together until the evening and are thinking about each other and what the other is up to. We have been together for a bit over 5 years and this still works for us, so maybe your GF is just that kind of person. You could maybe tell her that while you care for her and think it's nice that she is thinking of you, it takes a lot of mental energy throughout the day to respond to every message, and that you would rather catch up at the end of the day or something. Hope it all works out for you. Yep, you just need to talk this out. I feel like she expects me to react to her texts every time. Do you know she expects that, or just assume she does? Plenty of people enjoy texting occasionally without expecting a real-time conversation. Text my partner a lot throughout the day. I might hear back right away, but sometimes I don't until the next day. I do the same with his messages. Obviously sometimes people are trying to have real conversations, but other times they're just sharing things with you. If it's hard for you to tell the difference, tell her that, and try to work out a solution. Boyfriend's ex-wife comes inside our house today while we are at work. Normal or weird? So Teresa long backstory to this. They both lived in our current home for about 10 years. They divorced a few years ago before I knew either of them, and most importantly they have a kid together. It's 50-50 shared custody. He and I have been together for a year and a half and live together. Overall we are pretty happy together. It's been heavenly living with him, mostly, and I've never been happier. He says the same. When I first met his ex she was very friendly. She hugged and smiled at me every time I saw her. She would come over a lot, sometimes show up at the door without calling. She also would call and or text every day. At first I was okay with it because I figured it was in their child's best interest and she seemed like a good person. He told me they had been more like roommates than a couple. The last 2 years of their relationship they didn't have sex, and before that it was kind of rare. After a while I noticed when she came over she didn't talk to me and her daughter much. She spent most of the time standing facing my BF and telling him stories of what she's doing, which was fine at first, just kind of annoying. I genuinely wanted to be friends with her. When the pandemic started, my boyfriend and I decided to live together because we were together all the time anyway. I know, only fools rush in. I was staying at his house 24/7, noticed the house had a lot of her stuff here. She still kept makeup in the master bedroom drawer. She had over 50 cardboard boxes of her and her mom's stuff in the basement, and even her old wedding dress in a closet upstairs. Every drawer and closet was jammed packed full of stuff. It's a huge house, so it took me a while to realize how much stuff she personally had here. One time I was cleaning out the spare bedroom and there was a huge bin full of stuffed animals. Like a lot of them. I took them out and there was a dildo in the bottom of the bin. It was too much for me. I love decorating and organization, and this shit was nasty. I gently nudged him to ask her to get her stuff out and he did. He was happy to do it and said he's been asking her to move the boxes and junk for over 8 years. Plus he bought her a house where she could store it, a big car to move it, offered to help her move it and had plenty of time to do it. He pays her alimony and she won't have to work for a very long time, so she doesn't work at all. The day she come to move her stuff it was very emotional for her and she stopped being nice to me afterwards. I was in a work meeting when she arrived and didn't get a chance to say much to her. I was super nice though. After that day she tried to convince him he shouldn't date me and hinted at about getting back together with him. He told me all about it. He also would constantly get calls from her asking him to do her favors. Then about a month later, after she moves her stuff out, she shows up on our porch and tells him she bought a house a few doors down the street. I can see it from the porch. It's a huge house right on the corner and it was super weird. She completely ignored me when announcing her news to him, even though I was holding his hand and standing front of her too. Not once did she look at me. So that sucked really bad. Fast forward. We went out of town and she offered to watch our pets. Said she missed them. She got the dogs and he got the cats. He tells me this and thinks he'll be okay. I'm like, WTF? No way, bad idea. He promised she was trustworthy. I gave it and said okay, but this it, the last time, if she does something crazy and attention seeking again, I'm not trusting her anymore. A week later we come home to our lawn furniture, mantle decorations, a pot and dishes, decorations in the book room, a picture on the wall all gone. I'm pretty sure she went through everything. She stopped coming over after that and we installed an outdoor camera system around the house to be sure. Today things changed while he and I were at work. She comes in the house. Here's what I could see: find the porch camera. She walked in the house with their kid. The child walks out shortly after, not the ex, and then runs back in saying mama. Then they both come out. She has the code to the front door and even if she didn't, their child would let her in. I want to install indoor cameras now. I wish she would have waited to come over when we both were home. I would totally feel differently about that. Her in our house alone freaks me out. I need advice on what to do going forward, please. We are really making an effort to keep the peace with her, but it's exhausting and seems like every time we feel like we take a step forward she does something hurtful or disrespectful.